Hello and welcome to this pregnancy yoga class for those of you who are experiencing round ligament pain. Round ligament pain is caused because those ligaments are being stretched out as the uterus grows. So a couple of things that will help. Number one is allowing that area to completely relax. So sometimes I find the women that I work with are so tense and tight, sometimes caused because they're feeling emotional or stressed about the pregnancy, or sometimes just because they had really strong abdominal muscles, it's their first pregnancy, and these ligaments are stretching out for the first time, and that can feel quite painful. So learning how to relax into these areas is really helpful, and also some gentle, regular stretching. And I say regular because it might feel a little bit counterintuitive to stretch this area even more when that's what's causing the pain. But if you're stretching these ligaments really gently in a yoga class, it's going to help the overall process of this stretching happen more softly on the body, and it won't be as intense, and hopefully help to prevent and ease some of that round ligament pain that you're feeling. If this is the first video of mine that you've come across, just a little reminder, I do have a free pregnancy yoga guide, so I'll leave the link below for you to go and download that one. Just helps you to know what you can do and can't do in the different trimesters, and just give you a little bit of general advice about pregnancy yoga. All right, let's get going. All right, so we're going to get started just in a comfortable seat. So I have my ankles crossed, but you can cross the legs however is most comfortable for you. And we're going to practice what's called pelvic circles. So there's really no right or wrong way to do this, just that you're helping to create some movement in the pelvis. So as you inhale, I want you to move the body forward. See if you can open up through the heart. And as you exhale, we round through the back a little bit, tuck the chin in, and then repeat, inhale. It always feels nice to close down the eyes. I often like doing this, especially in pregnancy yoga classes, because our intention is really to tune in with our body, to tune in with our baby. So see if you can breathe deeply into the low belly as you move around. So the breath also helps. And then as you finish up this circle, we're going to repeat in the opposite direction. So circle around the other way. And if you notice you have any particularly tight spots in the body, maybe you can just stay there, do a little bit of a rock and an open in that space, and then keep moving. So feel free to, in any of my classes really, move in a way that feels good for you. I don't like yoga that's practiced in straight lines and where you feel like you can't move or change or modify anything. I really want to encourage you to tune in with your body and modify as you need. All right, come back to center. Press down into those sit bones. You should be able to feel both sit bones pressing. If you can't, maybe just remove some of the fleshy bits that prevent you from feeling those sit bones. We're going to come into what's called half malasana. So this is like our low squat, but not the full variety. So we'll bring one foot to the floor. The other foot can just tuck in. You should feel some gentle stretching in the groin area. We're going to then bring the elbow inside that knee, and there's a bit of counter pressure. So press the knee into the elbow, press the elbow into the knee, and then press down into those sit bones to lift through the heart. So you should gently feel the shoulder blades drawing together behind you. Feel like the crown of the head is lifting you up. It might feel nice to bring the hands onto the low belly now, just helping that part of you relax, focusing on the warmth of your hands on the belly. And really breathing into the hands. Let's take this leg out long now. Reach down the leg, inhale the other arm up and over. So again, working gently into stretching, helping to create alignment in the pelvis, which can help to reduce some of that aching that we get through the low back. And then inhale, come up. Use the hand on the outside of this thigh just to take a really gentle twist, looking over the back shoulder. Just let your pelvis move where it needs to be. So if this hip lifts, let it lift. And then exhale, come back to center. Draw the legs in. We're going to come to that half malasana on the opposite side. So again, pressing down into those sit bones, bring the elbow in. Inhale, lift the crown of the head. Be aware of this connection between elbow and thigh, and also the connection with the sit bones to the floor. Again, you might like to bring the hands to the low belly. Allow that part of you to relax. Relax the belly into the hands. Focus on the warmth of the hands, and really breathe into them. Let the shoulders be soft, but the crown of the head lifting you up tall. And then gently release that leg out long. Reach down it and inhale up and over. As you inhale, come all the way up. Return to look over the opposite shoulder, just using a little bit of pressure into that thigh. As you exhale, release back to center. Take the other leg out wide now. We come into our wide leg forward fold. For some women, this is too much. The hamstrings are too tight to sit in this position. So if you want, you could bring a rolled blanket underneath the sit bones or a bolster or a cushion, anything just to lift the hips a little bit higher and take some of that pressure off the hamstrings. So draw the toes back towards you. Use the thigh muscles to really press down into the floor and feel that pressing down, lifting you up, finding length through the spine. Again, bring the hands onto that low belly, and I want you to breathe deeply into the low belly. And as you exhale, let the shoulders soften, but also let the belly become really soft. Let the pelvic floor also relax. So the legs are really active, and there's quite a contrast between the legs and the belly. Let the legs soften now too, so maybe just gently rock the legs back and forth, releasing any tension. And see if you can let the upper body soften as well as you just really gently lean forward. If this is too much, stay upright, but if it feels okay, gently leaning forward, maybe bringing the hands in front of you for support. As you inhale, coming up, just rolling the shoulders back and down, helping to release any tension that you might have been holding there. And then bring the feet in. We're going to come up and over into our tabletop. So that means our hands are underneath our shoulders, knees are under the hips. We're going to practice what is usually cat-cow, but during pregnancy we stay in our tabletop and we just do our cat portion of this because we don't want to overarch the back at all. So you're avoiding this position where the tailbone lifts up, so you're keeping a nice flat back. So we inhale here, and as we exhale, I want you to tuck the tailbone under, look towards the thighs, round the back, just like a cat does. And then inhale, come back to your tabletop. Exhale, round. Inhale. And exhale. Return your back to tabletop. Step the left leg forward and we come into a low lunge. So I want you to find movement here. So feel free to Move around, make some circles, kind of like when we did our pelvic circles, except in a lunge position. And what we're doing here is creating space in the pelvis, checking any mobility issues. So if you find you've got a really tight place, can you just breathe and hold there? Like any pregnancy yoga classes, we're not pushing on tension because our body is already more flexible than it normally is. But see if you can just release any areas that you can feel are holding tension unnecessarily. As you inhale, come up, bringing the weight into this back leg. And we're going to come into our gate pose. I might come sideways just so that you can see what I'm doing. So you would be in this position. You're going to step this leg out to the side. Feel strong and stable here first before we add a little bit of a side stretch. Inhale over. And then coming in the opposite way, inhale over. And then bring the hands back down in front of you, coming back to your tabletop. So once you're in your tabletop, we're going to do 3 more rounds of that tabletop to cat position. So inhale here, and then exhale round. See if you can make it a little bit more exaggerated this time, really pressing into the tops of the feet, pressing into the knees. Inhale, tabletop. Exhale, release. Let your belly just hang gently here. So try not to hold any tension through this space. Inhale, tabletop. Exhale, let it go. Return to tabletop as you step the right leg forward this time. Come back to those lunge circles. So making space here. Rolling around, noticing any tension. See if you can keep the breath flowing. And then bringing the weight into that back leg. And then step that front one out to the side, coming into that gate pose. So feel stable here, get your foundation. Don't feel like you're gonna rock at all before inhaling up and over. And then to the opposite side. Inhale back to center. Step that leg back in. We're going to come now into a supported hero pose. So I'd like for you to get either blankets or cushions or a yoga bolster if you have one. So I want you to bring the bolster or cushions or whatever you're using in between the feet. So it's like you're sitting between the feet, but you're actually sitting up on a bolster. So this is going to create a gentle stretch across the front of the belly. So if it is too much, feel free to just come back to sit here and bring the hands onto the belly, enjoying the warmth of the hands again. If it is okay, the hands come down behind the feet, press the palms into the mat, and then just gently start to open through the chest by pressing into the hands. And if it's okay with the head or neck, the head can gently fall behind you. See if you can breathe deeply into that low belly in this position. And then when you're ready, bring the chin to chest, press into the hands, slowly rise yourself back up. Give yourself time. We're going to move that bolster out the way as we bring the forehead down to the floor. So bring the feet together now. Knees still stay wide, stack the fists. Bring the forehead to rest on the hands. Let the shoulders soften, let the belly be completely soft. As you inhale, come up, bring the feet forward in front of you as you come to take a seat down. Leave that support behind you because we're going to use it again now. So leaning the low back onto the support as the soles of the feet come together, the knees come out wide. If this is too much for the inner thighs, bring some cushions or roll blankets underneath the knees. Just let the heart be open here. If it's too much for the low back, you can just scoot the hips a little bit further away from the bolster, and that will just create a little bit less of an arch through the low back, and it will feel more comfortable for you. Just want you to breathe deeply into the low belly here. See if you can connect in with that energy of your baby. That loving feeling that you have for them. Allow it to spread from the belly throughout the rest of your body as well. And then gently bring the feet to the outer edges of the mat. Let the knees fall in towards each other. And just take 5 full deep breaths here. Lift the knees up and then gently exhale them down to one side. If it feels good to do so, you can take the arms above the head, rest them on the bolster behind you. Inhale all the way over to the opposite side. Inhale back through center. Exhale. And then inhale. And bring the knees back into center. Cross the ankles over. Use the hands to support you as you slowly bring chin to chest and then draw yourself all the way back up to have a seat. Bring the hands to heart, roll the shoulders back and down. Let's take a few centering breaths here, coming back into awareness of the space that you currently sit. Awareness of your body. Awareness of your breath, and awareness of your baby. As always, it's an honor to share this practice with you. Namaste. Thank you again for sharing this practice with me. Just before I go, I did want to remind you, if you haven't yet downloaded that free pregnancy guide, go and check that out. If you want to do more pregnancy yoga practices with me, you can check out my YouTube channel. I have a whole playlist there. Or if you would like to join my community, you can check out my online yoga circle. Again, all the links will be below. Good luck for the rest of your pregnancy. Let me know when your beautiful baby arrives. And namaste.